Welcome to Chubbo TV, and I'm your host Chubbo, and you've tuned into Football Fever, and today's segment is all about my club Liverpool FC, and we're going to be looking at players' contracts, transfers, the latest on Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and of course the hot topic that took the world football by storm this week was TAA announcing, or Real Madrid announcing pretty much in their media, that TAA had agreed personal terms to be a Real Madrid player from the 1st of June, locking in a 5-year contract. So we're going to kick it off today with the news of TAA and see where we are. So yeah, the news was that TAA did lock in personal terms with Real Madrid of 5 years. They're trying to even get this deal done as quickly as possible because they want him to be available for this year's Club World Cup that's going to be kicked off for the first time ever. So they're trying to rush him, get him across the line as quickly as possible so he could be available to play in that tournament. Now look, I've heard all the garbage on TAA. I actually you can go back and have a look at my other video. I've done a rant about TAA because I'm a bit like Gary Neville on the overlap last night. I can't believe, it's a little bit different with Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk because of their age, and they were a little bit, not playing their best last season, so the club was willing to maybe wait a little bit, but there is no excuse for TAA not to have a longer contract than he did and to be walking out of our club on the 1st of June for free. But what I want to put to rest is the rest of the garbage that we should let him rot on the bench. Don't play him. Don't let him, be part of the squad anymore. Move on. Well, I don't agree with that. He's a quality player. He brings a different diversity to our attacking game. He's been an excellent addition with Mohamed Salah on the right side of our attack for many years. Yes, sometimes he struggles defensively, but what he brings attacking-wise is a weapon. And I think we're Liverpool, we're always desperate to win the EPL. We've got a chance to win our second EPL and celebrate it in front of our fans and get a bus parade. And what happened when we won it during COVID. It was great we won it, but it wasn't the same feeling. We've got a chance to do that now and really make it a big celebration when we come back next Thursday morning at my time when we play the other half of Merseyside, the Blue in the Derby, Everton. We've got a 12-point lead over Arsenal at the moment, and TAA is going to play an important part to that. Let him finish, let him play, let him win his championship, and he can move on. We'll recover from TAA. The club is bigger than TAA. The club is bigger than any Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk. But the garbage that I've been hearing about TAA, about not playing and let him out to dry, is just pure garbage. Anyway, that's my say on TAA. Let's keep moving forward because I've done a bit of research on our club in the last few weeks, in the last few days, and looking at our player contracts. And as we know, Richard Hughes has come in and he's got a huge job. He's got a massive job. He's got a massive job. Massive job to try and get a lot of these players done deals. As we know, he's got a huge job already with Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, which there's been a bit more news on that, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But I can reveal, looking at our players' contracts, we've got 12 players coming out of contract on 2026. 12. Not one, not two. And then if you want to throw Ibrahim Kanate in there, where the club is trying to re-sign because he's an important figure to our club and his contract finishes 2027, there's 13 key players coming off contract. We're going to have a look at them closely now. So Alisson Becker is one that comes off 2026. Well, we all know how I feel about Alisson Becker as a goalkeeper. Richard Hughes must be doing all he can to sign him. Despite Mamadishvili from Valencia coming in next season, he will play a number 2 role. Despite what he's talking about, he's going to come and fight for his spot. No one is better than Becker, and it wasn't it was for everyone to see, the world to see that night at the La France when we played PSG, the night he had. So Alisson Becker is one coming off contract in 2026. The other one, Diego Jota. He's another one, been a great servant when we bought him from Wolverhampton and has scored some incredible goals for Liverpool. But he has got an injury list that he's probably missed many games, and it's very hard for our managers to rely on him at times because of his injury list. And I think of late he probably hasn't been the best version of Diego Jota that we've seen. Now he's coming off contract at 2026, so I think there'll be question marks. Do we re-sign him? I'd like to get your thoughts on what people think. Do you think we should put or give Diego Jota an extension. Darwin Núñez, well, we know Darwin Núñez has got the jury out. Last season was great, 20 goals, 10 assists. This year really struggling. He's only on 5 goals in all competitions, and his misses now are really starting to become a pain in the neck, despite him at times being, giving us 3 points, a very big win away to Brentford. Apart from that, there's only been glimpses of Darwin Núñez, and I mean, he's struggling with even the Uruguayan national team at the moment, so Darwin Núñez could be one as well that we'll be looking to move on. Joe Gomez, well, if you believe all new reports, Joe Gomez could be part of the package that Liverpool's trying to get to bring Alexander-Arnold from Newcastle for £150 million. Joe Gomez, another one off contract in 2026, and we know Joe Gomez has been a great servant of the club, can play anywhere in the back line. He's always fills in and does a great job, but his problem again, injuries. You just can't rely on him. So I think this time Joe Gomez definitely will not be re-signed. Luis Diaz, well, on his day, there's probably one of the best wingers strikers on his day, and probably Luis Diaz probably hasn't scored as many goals as we hope, but when Diaz is on fire, he can play. A lot of talk about him being wanted by Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, and he's coming off contract. I think Liverpool really need to tie him down. He's only 26 years old. I still think he's got a lot to offer Liverpool, and I think Diaz is not a player we should be selling or letting go at this stage. Stefan Batiček, a youngster that, he had the world at his feet. Jurgen Klopp brought him in at the number 6 role, looked really good, but injuries have set him back. We loaned him out. So he's another one, I think, the jury's out. Bring him back in pre-season, let Arnold Slot have a good look at him, and we will reassess it with Stefan Batiček. Endo, well, what a signing Endo's been with Jurgen Klopp. Terrific signing, Endo. He's been absolutely incredible. He was brought in on a 4-year deal. He'll be coming off contract. I don't think Liverpool will, because of his age being 33, 34, I don't think we'll re-sign him, but he's got the new title as the closer. Arne Slot brings him in, very professional. When Liverpool leading, he closes that midfield down, helps us close off games, and I still think he's got a big part to play in the remaining 9 games to get us over the line in the EPL, but I don't think Endo will be any more, I don't think he'll be getting a contract extension at Liverpool. Costa Tsimikas is another one that's coming off contract in 2026. Now, he's deputised behind Andy Robertson, probably under Jurgen Klopp. He didn't have his best time, or he had some good games, but probably found more consistency lately under Arne Slot. He's filled in and had some very good games under Arne Slot. Probably played his best football under Arne Slot since his time at Liverpool FC. Now, with a lot of talk that Liverpool are after Bournemouth's Milos Kerkez, the left Hungarian international 21-year-old, you would think that Costa Tsimikas is probably going to be the one that will be sold, because Andy Robertson's still got a contract until 2027, and I think Tsimikas will be another one that will be moved on. Curtis Jones. Well, Curtis Jones is, for me, like TAA. Everything should be done. I mean, Curtis Jones has got his jury at times as well, but under Arne Slot, he's blossomed this season. He's had some terrific games. He's another one. He's only going to get better with age. He's still very young, 23, 24 years old, and we should be doing everything we can to get Curtis Jones pen to paper. There is no reason why at all that he should be leaving our club at 2026. Harvey Elliott, well, he's got, again, Harvey Elliott. We know Harvey Elliott, he can be a man of the match, he can give winning performances. Is he as consistent? Well, it's hard to say because he hasn't had much game time under Arne Slot. I think this kid's got a huge talent. Now, if you believe Gomez, Quansah and Harvey Elliott are part of that package trying to get Alexander-Arnold across the line from Newcastle to Liverpool, but I think Harvey Elliott, the club's really got to sit down and have a good think about, because I still think he's got a lot to give Liverpool, and I've got question marks if we really should be letting him go just yet. And Colin Keller, well, he's going to go with, we know with Marshall coming from Valencia, Keller will definitely be sold. He's been a great debutant for Becker. He's been done a terrific job in goals whenever caught up, and I think it's his time to shine as a number 1 goalkeeper away from Liverpool FC. So there you see with Richard Hughes, that's what I've got to say, and I would love to get people's comments on what they think. We've got 12 players coming off contract, 13 players. they've got to really sit down and think which players are they going to sell, which players are they going to re-sign. That's a big job. And, a lot of people talked about Jurgen Klopp leaving and Arne Slot coming in, rebuilding. Well, maybe the rebuilding is going to be now after we win the Premier League because, like I said, 13 players off contract, still question marks over Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk. Is this the time where Liverpool is going to bite the bullet and maybe do a few surprises and let some players go and do a full rebuild? Or how many are we going to tie down? That's big question marks. I really think out of that list, I think really Luis Diaz, Becker are a must. And then the rest, and Curtis Jones, and like I've got questions about Harvey Elliott, and the rest, I don't know. It's going to be interesting times ahead. What money we get for them? Do we just let them play out their contracts and until 2026? These are the questions football executive Michael Edwards and sporting director Richard Hughes are going to have to sit down and work out because, it's going to be a huge off-season for Liverpool and we don't want to be in a stage where we win the Premier League and go backwards. We need to keep moving forward and we need to help Arne Slot again. I think Arne Slot next year is going to be a harder job than this year, especially with all this player movement and rebuilding a squad. So he's going to need all the help we can get and there's going to be a lot of question marks. Just looking at some of the loan players as well that are out there that I looked at 3 players that had big raps on them that we know. And again, injuries, for whatever reason, injuries and lack of playing time and various things. So haven't probably reached their capabilities that we know when we first seen them, what they were all about. I mean, Kate Gordon, he looked incredible before his injury. He's been loaned out at Portsmouth. He's played 15 games, only scored 1 goal. Ben Doak, as well, we know since his knee reconstruction, playing for Middlesbrough in 24 appearances, has scored 7 goals. And the interesting one, Lewis Kumas at Stoke City, after 42 appearances in all competitions, he's scored 9 goals. So it's going to be interesting. I think Arne Slot would need to have a good look at these 3. I think Lewis Kumas, out of all of them, he's been, in the Championship, his name's been out there. He's been doing a really good job for Stoke City this year. And I think he's one that we could look at closely as a squad player as well with Ben Doak. I mean, but they're 3 that, again, the club's going to have a good look at. Oh, do we keep them? Do we move them on? I mean, they were big talents. So those 3 are going to be interesting times ahead. Now let's look at the 3 big transfer. Well, there's a lot of players that Liverpool are talking to, but the 3 main players that Liverpool are looking at, I think that are on top of our list is left back, like I said, Milos Kerkez, the 21-year-old Bournemouth left back from Hungary. He fits all the boxes. He's already established himself in the EPL. He's quick, he's fast, aggressive, can cross a ball, and there's no doubt Andy Robertson's going to know he's in the squad if he does arrive in the summer window. He will really push Andy Robertson, and I think he will. Robertson will probably have to be the number 2 and he'll be number 1. If Liverpool, by all reports, it's not as close as everybody thinks it's not a done deal yet, but Liverpool need to do everything they can to get him. I think it's a must and he would be a great acquisition. It'd be a must. The other one that I'm really excited about is Jermaine Frimpong, the former Celtic, now current Bayern Leverkusen right back, Dutch international. Well, he's got qualities. Now, if TAA is moving on, as we all know he is, and you're left with Connor Bradley and Jermaine Frimpong to fill in that right back role, well, Liverpool won't have a problem at right back for many, many years. Connor Bradley, we know he's an enormous talent and he's only going to get better and probably a better defender than TAA. And for Jermaine Frimpong, well, he's got everything. He's got class. He can play. I really hope the rumours are true and the transfer news are right, that we are going after him. He would be a great addition. You have him and Connor Bradley, we're set for the next 10 years at right back for Liverpool FC. They will be absolutely unbelievable. And of course, the man like that we all want, and hopefully it's not talk because we've seen it before with Jude Bellingham and others over the years and they haven't come. All the talk is that Liverpool and Arsenal are going to go head-to-head for Alexander-Isak. We know Newcastle won £150 million. The big news coming out of Alexander-Isak is definitely a must for Liverpool. And he's even spoke about back in the time that before he came to the Premier League, his dream was one day to play for Liverpool and, play at Anfield. So a lot of question marks are going to be asked. The fee's high, £150 million. Liverpool won't be paying that. But if you believe the rumours on Frank Quansah, Harvey Elliott in, and Joe Gomez, definitely look. Joe Gomez, Harvey Elliott. I think Quansah. Quansah has played of late. He was a little bit of inconsistent with Jurgen Klopp at the start of the season. Was great with Jurgen Klopp last season, but I think there's a player there, and he's even played right back very well of late when TAA was injured, and Connor Bradley. So I think Quansah has still got a role to play at Liverpool FC. So I don't think he should be put in the package, and I don't believe Liverpool and Richard Hughes could be that silly to put him in the package. Harvey Elliott, well, they're going to really have to think about it, and Joe Gomez, and even throw in a Darwin Núñez. Would I be happy Darwin Núñez, Harvey Elliott and Joe Gomez going and getting Alexander-Arnold? I would be very happy. I think it would be a great bit of business, and imagine a front line of Alexander-Arnold, Diaz and Salah. I think will be very, very hard to beat again, and we'll be banging goals in. Alexander-Arnold is the number 9 we need, and he's a real number 9. And again, with Federico Chiesa, who's looked better. Again, question marks are going to be what we do with Chiesa and Diego Jota, but Isk is a must, and hopefully all rumours believe, we are going to go full at him, and hopefully we can tie him down. The other news I was looking at is, just quickly wanted to say is, I understand Liverpool, why we got so many players off contract. I mean, when Michael Edwards left and we had Matty Gordon leave the club, and Matt Bird, a lot of senior roles had left. And as we remember, we got George Smack only for 6 months now. He was brought in as football director, and at the time he was only brought into really the incomings, where he brought Endo and players like Soboslai. And it was really only a vision of the incoming. There wasn't really much about players tying them down to contracts and so on. So I think in that process there, where the 6 months he's come in, and now we've brought Richard Hughes and others of late, and Michael Edwards and so on. It's very difficult for Liverpool at the moment. It's been a very difficult time. So I think Richard Hughes is playing catch up. So it's going to be interesting to see how many players, and Michael Edwards, they're going to have their hands tied. How many, like I said, we actually tied down, because there's a lot of players off contracts. There's a lot of incomings, and Liverpool friends, we've been a little bit feverish with FSG, probably not feeling they're getting, the incomings and the backing that the managers rely. And Arne Slot, I think his first season's been wonderful, but he's really going to need backing in his second season. He's going to need the help in the second season. And, a lot of players off contract, got to tie it down. So this summer window is going to be huge for Liverpool, and we're going to follow it closely. So that's pretty much all the news on Liverpool Football Club. We know that Liverpool and the Championship, again, the players have had extended holiday time, which is great. They've had a bit of a rest after the international break. We're not in the FA Cup this weekend, so we don't play until next Thursday morning against Everton at Anfield to restart a little bit of a mini competition, 9 games. Hopefully we can win 5 of them, wrap up the Premier League really quickly, and then enjoy the rest of the season and make it a huge celebration. Anyway, that's it for Chubba TV and Chubba FC signing off. Like I said, if you like my videos, please leave some comments, like and subscribe. Press the like and subscribe button. I get happy when I see a comment and a like. It motivates me to keep these videos and all the information going. But once again, Chubba TV will be back with some big news as well. That Football Fever, the old soccer stoppage time band, the boys will be returning. In big news, I'll have a bit of breaking news on that a bit later. But Football Fever will be returning on Monday nights, 7 to 8:30, with all the latest A-League, NPL, EPL, all the football covered in a huge show with interviews, coaches. It's going to be a lot of breaking transfer stories. It's going to be huge, and we can't wait to kick off on Monday night, 7 o'clock. But stay tuned for that. Until then, that's all from Football Fever and Chubba TV.